Hey everyone, Lakia Robinson here, and today's video we are going to focus on driving traffic to your website using social media. A lot of times people ask me, I have social media going for me, but what am I really trying to accomplish? How am I going to get them from my site over from social media over to my site? So what we're going to focus on today are different components that you can put into your social media campaigns right now to get you to your desired end goal. So the first thing that I want to share with you is to actually have an end goal. What's your purpose on social media? A lot of times we're on there and we're, doing a million different things and we don't have a clear purpose. So what I want you to start thinking about is what's your purpose on social media. Now you can pause this and do the exercises as we go along, or you can wait till afterwards. However you do it, make sure that you go through this process because this is really important when it comes to being on social media. So you have to ask yourself, do I want to get people to sign up to my email list, purchase a product, read my article, listen to my podcast, watch my video? That is going to vary with each campaign that you do. So one day of the week you might be promoting a webinar. So that could be everything that you're doing for that week is going to focus on that webinar and to get people to that. Another week you may want someone to sign up to your email list for a product or a wait list or something. So that week you are pushing people to that wait list or that product. So it really depends on what you want. So I want you to get that in mind right now. What is your end goal for this particular week or month or year? Some of you may just want to build your email list, and that's fine. That could be a daily thing. So you just really need to focus on that right now. Now moving on to the next step. So now let's focus on funnels. Now this is how to accomplish exactly what we just said we wanted. So for our end result, our end goal, we need to create a funnel to get people over to that particular objective. So I created this little graphic for you guys to see, but here are the social media platforms right here, and ultimately we want to get them to a platform that we control so that if anything were to ever happen with the platform, for instance, there was a day maybe a couple of years ago where Facebook went down completely. You couldn't get on. So if you had a scheduled appointment with your clients, maybe you had a presentation that you were going to do in Facebook, it was totally down, so you couldn't get in at all. Also, Facebook has the tendency, if the back end isn't looking all that great, meaning say you have somebody reports you for something, and this is like an example that I've witnessed where this girl had about maybe 60,000 followers, and somebody reported her main page because she used a totally different name. Now, she obviously went against Facebook rules, so she was not in agreement with them. She wasn't in alignment with their contract. So, we've seen it all the time. You put your first name and maybe your last initial, or your first name and your middle name. So it's not your full government name per se. Well, somebody reported her and they locked her out of her account until she was able to identify who she was. And that page was connected to her Facebook group, her Facebook page, everything. So there obviously are ways around that. I put a safety net in, so I use my real name, but I also have a safety net just in case anything happens. Someone else has admin access to all of my accounts, and then I have another account that has access to that as well. So that was kind of like a tangent, but it's really important to know that. So you really want to get them onto a platform that you control. So that's one of the steps that you need to remember whenever it is driving traffic from social media to your website. All right, so moving right along. Now, ultimately, what are some of the things that you should be doing right now on social media? Now, this is my favorite part because I love to give examples, and I have tons of content or examples of this that I've been curating. So I want to give you some of these examples, and they are from people in all different types of backgrounds and industries. So just pay attention. So you may want to use some images and graphics. This is the Facebook header, and I like how she's straight to the point of what she does in the subtitle. Then she has a place where you can, her website where you can go to check out the radio show, and then another website that you can go to as well. And so remember, these are what I'm going to show you is things, they're graphics to get people to your site or to take an action, because we came up with our objective. Now we're just using images and graphics on social media to push those people to their respective places. Now, of course, you have to have your funnel in place, because I'm just showing you the graphics. If you're leading them to mitchellproductions.com, then you should have maybe a pop-up or maybe a freebie or lead magnet that's on that page that's going to direct them to where you want them to go. And I'll show you an example of that later on. If you have a book that you've written, or maybe an interview that you've gone on, or maybe a book that you've read that there's quotes that you just absolutely love, then you can create graphics that reflect that. So you can take some content out of that book and just go ahead and put it on there and have a really pretty background and all of that. And I think that is an awesome way to promote your content. Of course, this does not have a website on there, and at times you may not need to put a website on there, but for here particularly, she's just trying to let people know what's happening in her book. So you can actually put the call to action in the post as well, so you can type it out, or you can have it on the actual graphic itself. And I'll talk a little bit about call to actions later. So another image that I liked, of course, another Sky Warren. I love this image because it's letting you know, hey, there's a release giveaway. So when the book is getting ready to come out, I'm going to give away this gift card. And so it sticks with the theme too, because you see these, the graphics on the background, like really pretty foliage. Then, you know, it has it here as well. But it has the book and it's telling you new release, just getting people prepared. So that's going to eventually get people over to your site or looking for your content. So if I see this, I'm like, okay, Amazon's going to have this book and then I could win 20 bucks. So I'm going to go over to Amazon right now and look for the pawn. Another thing you can do is testimonials. I thought this is a pretty cool graphic, and Rich Living is obviously the brand, but this is someone that has actually worked with Rich Living and giving a testimonial. So that's something right there that will pique your audience interest. So testimonials in graphic form are super awesome to create. Another thing, and I'll just scroll down, it won't go on the same screen, but I'll show you this one first. This is a publicist, and just a quote that she came up with. Super simple, but I'll click on there. It's a square that you can put on Instagram or on Facebook or however you want to do that. And I think that's really cool if you want to create something like that. Another graphic, and I didn't mean to skip over that one, is this one. And it gives you a quote, hashtag, and then a website for you to go to. And I'm going to show you later the book that goes with it. But I love this because, like I said, it's giving you that hashtag so that you can either join the conversation or use it in maybe one of your posts, your audience, or you can go straight to that website and check it out. All right, moving right along. I love this one, and I'm going to make this a little smaller. But this is really simple, and you can literally just grab a background, put some content on there and a quote, and keep moving along. Now I want to show you, I think I have one more. Yeah, one more. I love this because they are letting you know the title of that podcast at the top, and then they're giving you the episode number with the person that they are interviewing. So this is another way that, another option for you to use when it comes to driving traffic from your social media to wherever you want to lead them. So think about that with podcasts. You can use this even for a website, for a book, for anything you really want to use it for, honestly. You get creative and think about all of that great stuff. So let's scroll to the next one. Now, another thing you can do to drive traffic from your social media to wherever you want them to go, to your website or your blog, is to leverage live and uploaded video content. So Facebook Live is huge right now, whereas before it was Periscope. People were periscoping like crazy, and they started having technical glitches and the live streaming was going down. Then people kind of moved over to Facebook, but Instagram has Instagram stories. Facebook has Facebook stories. You can utilize all of that, leverage it to share some information about your new book coming out, or your website, or your blog, or just to talk about what's happening in your life or what's happening in your business. Whatever it is, have those topics and leverage the live video. And so again, this Instagram stories as well, you can do a lot of really cool things with it. And then I wanted to show you this. I actually follow Comedy Central and The Daily Show. They uploaded this and they had this video, this image running with the video. To make this though I think is really easy, because all you have to do is just have the audio track. So you can literally just have an audio track and then put the image that you want in there. So think about that. If you're not into the whole live thing, you can actually film prior to and then put that online. And you see what he did was he did a lot of branding on that. He didn't. His team did it. Logo, The Daily Show. They're telling you when you could actually watch it or listen to it, and then they just uploaded it. And then they showed you where you can listen to as well on Apple Podcasts. So that's an option as well for you. Live video or uploaded video content. Now, the next thing, you can look at sponsored posts and campaigns. So this is you putting a little bit of money behind your campaigns to drive them to your website. So a lot of times, everything I pretty much showed you before up until now has been organic. So you just put that on your social media or your posts daily or weekly or however you want for the social media you have planned for your social media schedule. But with this, a lot of times with Facebook, you have to call it pay to play. So you won't necessarily be seen in front of a lot of individuals if you don't have a little boost to your post. So you can boost posts, you can do campaigns, all of that to drive traffic. And here are some of the images of content that I've curated over the years and what people are using. So I'm pretty sure you've seen this. If you are a business owner on social media, whether it's for business or your personal life, but mainly if you are a business, you will notice all of these ads because you have like a trained eye. But here are some examples, and I have a few more. So as you can see, they're telling them, hey, I have a free online masterclass that's coming up. I have a free challenge. And with the ad, you can either click here, go there. You're actually going to direct them to go. So everything that we've been talking about, you're directing them through that ad. And here's another one. And of course, they don't have the actual call to actions on there because it's an ad and there's a place for text to be put on the ad. But this is what you want the image to look like. So moving along. Now, I've been talking about a lot of call to actions, right? I've been saying, okay, this is a call to action and make sure you have this on your image, or you can have it in your ad or whatever it is. A call to action is telling your audience what you want them to do. Now, I say this for last because, and it could have been first, honestly, but as a business owner, if you want to sell, you ask that person for the sale. You do whatever process or steps that you need to get that person to take an action. And so for you, when you're online, tell your audience what you want them to do. If you want them to share the post with a friend who needs it, if you want them to tag someone who enjoys skiing or books or whatever it is. That's just an example I use. I don't know why skiing, but if you want them to like a status or read this or download, watch, subscribe, buy, share, like, tell them, and then put the link. So all of that plus link to your site or final destination. So if you want them to sign up for a blog, read this article from my blog, How to Make More Money, www.myblogrocks.com. Boom. There you go. And these are so effective because I actually, years ago when I first started my blog and I was promoting on MySpace and Facebook and, you know, all those platforms that weren't as big, I was going over there, putting call to actions up there. Hey, I have this new article, come visit, and people were going, you know. I didn't know to the extent of what else I needed to put in there. Like, I didn't have the images or the graphics and things, but once you combine those two powerful pieces, you will begin to see traction. If, of course, you're doing all the other right things too. So, you know, engaging content, it's content that people like and they want to see, instead of random things. But all of that together is how you can drive social media traffic to either your blog, your website, or your podcast, whatever you want. So let me show you some of the graphics that I pulled that I want to share with you. So she has her book that's going to come out, and she's telling people, hey, pre-order, telling them the bonuses that they can get, giving her website, the exact website. Also, when you go a little bit further down, she's telling them again, pre-order, a signed copy, telling them the bonuses. There is also the website. Another graphic is a graphic where you can use for Facebook, your Facebook header, and tell them what they're getting and tell them to sign up to get instant access to that freebie, the audio and the workbook. And then we have another graphic that's telling people, hey, I'm going to be on Facebook Live tonight, join me, giving the time, telling you a little bit in this image what you're going to see. And this is the Don't Settle for Safe book, and they're going, obviously, since this is the main focus, they're going to be talking about that book. So you can do the same thing, maybe your podcast or something like that. And further down, you can tell people to check out your latest blog post and tell them to read it, and put a link on your social media that directs them right to that post. So that's pretty much it, the call to actions that you can use in your images. And like I said earlier, back to the beginning, you have to get clear on what you want to do and then build your stuff around that. I want people to get to my podcast, so I need to create content that pushes people to that podcast. Images, videos, graphics, and promote it. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something, and I hope you're able to implement this in your personal business. Okay? Have a good one, and I will see you in the next video.